Hello, and welcome to the FIC and SFU Family Orientation. We look forward to welcoming you all to our community and making sure you have the knowledge and information you need to succeed. Today, our presentation is going to cover a number of topics. We will be having a welcome address from the FIC College Director and Principal, as well as the SFU Director of International Services for Students. We will be discussing how student success works and how you can support, wellness support, services and context, immigration, and staying connected. Hello and welcome. My name is Charlotte Reed, and I'm the College Director and Principal of Fraser International College at Simon Fraser University in Burnaby, British Columbia. We are so excited to welcome your family into our global FIC and SFU community. You are joining a vast network of caring, compassionate, adventurous, and driven individuals who strive to make the world a better place each day. Although we are far apart physically right now, our common goals pull us together as a community regardless of the physical boundaries. No matter how your journey will start, I promise that the experiences, the friends, the knowledge, and the growth of your journey will shape your entire future. All of us at FIC and SFU are excited to support your individual journey. We will be there to celebrate each success. Today, we start with the preparations for the whole family, and very soon, your amazing journey will begin.
Hello from Vancouver, Canada, and welcome. My name is Carolyn Hanna, and I am the Senior Director of International Services for Students at Simon Fraser University. On behalf of all of us at SFU, I wish to warmly congratulate you and welcome you and your family to our community. You bring with you global perspectives which will enrich our academic environment and our communities. In this time, I believe this is more important than ever before. Although we can't be together in person right now, I'd like to offer 3 pieces of advice which I think resonate both in the remote learning environment as well as when we are able to meet face-to-face. Firstly, reach out. You'll be faced with a lot of new information over the next few months. At times it will feel exciting and challenging, and at other times you may feel confused and not be sure where to turn. I encourage you to reach out at any time. No question is too big or too small. During this presentation, you will learn about the many support networks available for you. Secondly, find community. You'll be introduced to many programs and services designed for new students like you. These will offer valuable tips on how to succeed in your courses and provide opportunities for you to connect and get involved. We encourage you to actively share your needs and your interests with your fellow students, with staff members, and with your faculty members in order to make meaningful connections to support you on your learning journey. Thirdly, celebrate your successes. Being an international student takes courage, resilience, and openness. The pursuit of an international education offers opportunities for tremendous growth, learning, fun, and adventure. It can introduce you to lifelong friends, ideas, and experiences that shape who you are and can inspire the course of your future career. Today, we look forward to supporting you and your families as you prepare for these exciting next steps.
So what can you expect? There will be some culture shock, both academic culture shock and also when the student comes to Canada, some actual culture shock. At the beginning, everything is new and exciting. We call this the honeymoon phase. There will be new friends, new experiences, new things to learn and do. It will all be very fun and exciting. Soon, there will be some anxiety. The academic environment will be difficult. There will be so many new things to learn. It will become a little bit overwhelming. And this is a stage at which the family can step in and lend some support. After that, there's an adjustment. There are new mechanisms for coping. There has been a little bit of success. Everyone's finding their way, and that leads us to acceptance. These are really normal stages, and you should be prepared to see them through the academic transition and through the transition to a new country. Another part of the university experience is all about finding out who you are. What is your identity? Why are you here? What should you be studying? Why does your family have the belief system that they have? These are really important questions that lead to really great conversations, as the relationship you have with your child becomes a relationship with an adult. Be prepared and open for these conversations. Listen, ask questions, and engage. This is an amazing opportunity for you all. Student success is a really important part of the journey, of course. We have some habits that we encourage you to make sure your student is following. Regular meetings with advisors are a really important part of the university process. Advisors can give information about courses and academic planning and advice, but also can help connect to clubs, activities, friends, wellness services. Really, they're just a great resource to have on campus. It's really important to pursue hobbies. If your child was a dancer in high school or played soccer or football, encourage them to do the same and to also try new hobbies. It's important for them to make friends with people who have similar hobbies, values, and ideas about life. Suggest they attend one of the many workshops that are run at both FIC and SFU on academic skills, development skills, and all sorts of things. Recommend using a calendar for time management. This can really help organize all the tasks and activities. The number one secret to student success is instructor office hours. Every instructor at FIC and SFU has an office hour. This is one additional hour per week where the teachers can spend time answering questions with students one-on-one. This is a really great opportunity for students to get some one-on-one support. Encourage you to make sure your student waits until they're settled before they look for a job. Making sure that they really understand the academic and cultural environment can really help them in the job search and make sure they can succeed both in the classroom and outside of the classroom. And email is the number one way that we communicate with students, both at FIC and SFU. So reading email carefully is a really important tool for success. There are so many programs to make sure that we can help everyone, no matter where they are on their journey. And the programs at FIC and SFU are very similar to make sure that students can always find what they need to succeed. There's lots of support before you arrive, right through till after you graduate. So make sure that they are seeing an advisor regularly and getting the help they need. How can you help? Be prepared. It's really important that you understand British Columbia privacy law. We cannot give information about students. We want to help you. We want to be connecting you to your student. We want everyone to succeed, but we need to follow the laws. So please understand the BC privacy law does not allow us to share information with you, but we can help connect you to your child. And I hope that you will reach out to us and make sure you understand the limitations. Below is a phone number, 778-782-4500. Please save this phone number into your cell phone. This is the SFU campus emergency phone number. It is available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. If you need to find your child, share important information, or can't find them for some reason, you can always call this number and the institution will help you find the student. We really recommend you learn the names and contact numbers of local friends and ask for a copy of the student card and save it in your phone. All of these are little things that you can do now to be prepared in case you ever need them. I also recommend you make a communication plan with clear expectations. This means that the students should know how often you want to talk to them and how often they need to talk to you. The communication will change as the student goes through the culture shock phase, and it's important that everyone has clear expectations so that no one is disappointed. Make sure you encourage them to talk to an advisor. As you can see, this is very important. We've brought it up a few times. I also really recommend discussing money management. Money is a major stress for international students. They really understand the sacrifice their family is making to ensure that they can have this experience. Make sure they know how to manage the money, where the money is coming from, what you expect in terms of communication about money. For many students, this will be the first time they've been asked to manage a large amount of money, and it can be very confusing and overwhelming. It's best to have a transparent and open conversation about money up front. As we discussed about the privacy law, there is a lot of information we can't share with the family. This means the best thing you can do is help them learn to advocate for themselves. You can help them by preparing conversations in advance, practicing, helping them make appointments, but you can't attend them. This is an important part of them becoming an adult. Encourage you to listen first and engage in conversation. But most importantly, tell them you're proud of them. Being an international student in a foreign country is really difficult. And sometimes it's the really small things that the student will be very proud of accomplishing. So listen, and then don't forget to tell them how proud you are. And you should be prepared to forgive a few mistakes. They're growing up, they're going to make a few mistakes, and how you react to those mistakes will determine a lot around the relationship you'll have with the child moving forward. Simon Fraser University is a very rigorous academic institution. It's a well-ranked institution because of the reputation and the seriousness in which we take academic discourse. The academic courses have very high standards, and expectations of workload and grading is always at SFU standards. Doesn't matter if it's online or in person, these are serious courses. We consider attending class is a full-time job, and students should expect to spend 30 to 40 hours a week engaging in learning. We also value academic integrity as it is understood in North America. This refers to the values on which academic work must be founded: honesty, trust, fairness, respect, and responsibility. All the work must be the student's work alone. Also, active learning. A lot of the work is done outside of the classroom through reflection and experiential learning, and instructors are not going to run after you looking for your assignments. It's really important to have a calendar, to access peer support, instructor office hours, and create comfortable study space to make sure that you can keep up with the demands of the academic courses. Student wellness is very important to us. There are a variety of services available at both FIC and SFU. There is always one-on-one counseling for personal, mental health, stress, emotional, academic support, whatever a student has a question about or needs to talk to someone about. We also have a lot of what we call psychoeducational workshops. These are topics around healthy relationships, manage your emotions, exploring thinking, all sorts of topics around human development and growth. If students are looking for connections with services that maybe exist off campus, we're happy to provide those referrals and connections. And where necessary, we can communicate with instructors as needed from the wellness office. Whenever someone is struggling, it can be difficult to ask for help. So we try really hard to make sure all of these resources are available and that are proactively reaching out to the students, and that there are lots of ways for them to access support. There is support via telephone, virtual offices, and video chat for both FIC and SFU. You can send an email too to make an appointment at our FIC counselors or with SFU transition case manager and SFU health and counseling, where we have doctors, physiotherapists, psychologists, all the services you need to be healthy both physically and emotionally. In the next 3 slides, I will be providing some general immigration information relevant to students studying in Canada, as well as some important updates to take note of and to monitor given the ongoing COVID-19 pandemic. Things are changing, and what we say today is, to the best of our knowledge, accurate as of today. Information may change. The best way to keep up to date on the updates is monitor the Government of Canada website. So first, we'll talk about immigration documents. These are the documents an international student may hold during their studies in Canada. Students may hold several immigration documents simultaneously, each of which may allow them to pursue certain activities, for example, study. These documents also may require students to follow certain conditions or meet certain requirements in order to maintain their status in Canada. Let's talk about the study permit. You must have a valid study permit to study in Canada at FIC or SFU. Students who are outside Canada must apply for their study permit before coming to Canada. To apply for a study permit outside Canada, an applicant may apply for a study permit either on paper via the Visa Application Center or apply online, which is a more preferred way to do so. The study permit applications will be assessed by an immigration officer to determine if as part of the study permit application process, some applicants will be required to take additional steps, such as undergo immigration medical exams, biometric collection, etc. Upon approval, the student will be notified and receive a letter of introduction confirming that their study permit application has been approved. Please note that a letter of introduction is not the same as a study permit. The original study permit will be issued to the student by the Border Service Officer at the port of entry when they arrive in Canada. When it comes to the conditions study permit holders are required to abide by, it is important to note that study permit holders in Canada are required to actively pursue their studies and make reasonable progress towards completing their program of study. From Immigration, Refugees, and Citizenship Canada's perspective, a study permit holder must enroll part-time in each academic session throughout their studies in Canada. For enrollment requirements for international students at SFU and FIC, the student should check with their own learning institution directly. Students who are now transferring from FIC to SFU are not required to apply for a new study permit if their current permit is still valid. They are required to notify Immigration, Refugees, and Citizenship Canada that they have transferred from FIC to SFU by completing the online Designated Learning Institution DLI transfer process. If the study permit is about to expire and the student is in Canada, it is very important they apply to extend their study permit before it expires. The study permit is a status document which will allow an international student to study and remain in Canada as a study permit holder. Depending on the country of citizenship, while all students require a study permit to study in Canada, students may also require a temporary resident visa, also known as a TRV, or an electronic travel authorization, ETA, to travel to Canada. The TRV is an official counterfoil document placed in the passport. If students plan to travel abroad for holidays, they should ensure that their immigration documents are valid before leaving Canada to facilitate their re-entry into Canada. Study permit holders may also be eligible to work on campus or off campus, provided that they must be enrolled as a full-time student and meet certain eligibility criteria. As SFU and FIC may have different definitions on full-time enrollment status, students should check with their own learning institutions on how full-time status is defined. It is strongly recommended that students should apply for their study permits as soon as possible. If students will be transferring from FIC to SFU, they should complete the DLI transfer process. If the students are currently in Canada and their study permits will expire soon, they should also extend their study permits in Canada before they expire. If your student is wondering about admission deferral and/or enrollment requirements, whether or not they can take summer term off or be a part-time student, these questions should be directed to their own institution. It is the student's responsibility to keep track of expiry dates of their immigration documents to ensure that they are valid and remain valid for the duration of their study in Canada. Students attending FIC have access to immigration consultants on the FIC campus, should they wish to ask immigration-related questions. Current SFU students and students who have applied to SFU may reach out to the International Services for Students Office to speak with an international student advisor at SFU for non-academic questions. Assistants outside of FIC or SFU, we encourage you to make sure you are using an authorized representative to prevent yourself from becoming a victim of immigration fraud. We also have some COVID-19 immigration updates. Due to COVID-19, there have been lots of changes, such as temporary public policies that have been implemented by both provincial and federal government, including Immigration, Refugees, and Citizenship Canada, IRCC, during the past few months. For fall 2020, an international student may start their program remotely by taking courses outside of Canada without having a valid study permit. However, they must have a valid study permit to pursue any in-Canada component of their studies in Canada later. Due to service disruptions caused by COVID-19, some visa offices and visa application centers remained closed until further notice. Thus, all study permit applications must be submitted online. On Tuesday, July 14th, Immigration, Refugees, and Citizenship Canada announced temporary measures to better facilitate online learning for international students in the fall of 2020. IRCC confirmed that completed online study permit applications will be prioritized to ensure that all applications will be processed as quickly as possible. IRCC also introduced a two-stage approval process that will include a first-stage approval based on eligibility assessment and full approval based on admissibility requirements. The introduction of the temporary two-stage approval process aims to provide more confidence for students to enroll and begin their program in the fall, even if they are unable to submit required documents such as police certificates, immigration medical exams, and biometrics. To be eligible for this two-stage approval process, a study permit application must be submitted online by September 15th for a student to start their academic program for fall 2020. There is no guarantee that all study permit applications will be approved, including the ones that have been approved in principle. Therefore, it is important to apply for the study permit as soon as possible. IRCC also announced some flexibilities to the postgraduate work permit rules regarding eligibility requirements for studies completed remotely. The temporary measure will only be valid until December 31, 2020. To manage the outbreak of COVID-19, Canada has implemented travel restrictions that prohibit most foreign nationals from entering Canada unless they are exempt. Current travel restrictions on entries from countries other than the United States of America have been extended to August 31, 2020. For entry into Canada directly from the United States, travel restrictions are in force until August 21 of 2020. Depending on how COVID-19 pandemic evolves, the current travel restrictions may be lifted, changed, or extended further. Please closely monitor the Government of Canada website for updates on travel restrictions. In addition to meeting the travel exemption, international students must also be traveling to Canada for non-discretionary, non-optional purposes. Under the current travel restrictions, all international travelers will also be required by law to self-isolate or quarantine for 14 days, even if they have no COVID-19 related symptoms. In addition, all international travelers arriving in BC must submit a self-isolation plan for approval prior to their return or arrival in BC. We are excited to welcome students to fall 2020 semester at FIC and SFU. We'd love to connect and discuss any questions you might have after going through this presentation. You may want to ask, how will they succeed in remote delivery? How will time zones affect the fall semester? What kind of support and resources are available for self-isolation when my student is ready to travel? This may lead to questions about medical insurance. Please join us for a virtual live Q&A and get all your questions answered. You can find more information on registration, courses, and language options in the email provided. Hope to see you there. Thank you so much for spending the time with us today, and welcome again to our family.